Sean, how are you?
I don't really know what time it is.
Let's see. Where are
You know,
you?
I went right from I went from the airport last night, or I went to the match last night in Barcelona, and went home and had to cover a game, and went. My flight was at 6 a.m., so I was at the airport pretty early, 4 o'clock.
So you're back in Philly?
No, I'm in Manchester now.
Oh,
So
Manchester.
yeah.
So, well, welcome everybody. Sean is back, and
Kind of.
actually, if yeah, exactly. It would be a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon
Yeah,
in
it's
England. So
2 o'clock. Yeah, it's
yeah.
you know what? I got to be honest. Hampton, the Hampton Inn or Hilton, sorry, Hampton Hilton Inn, wherever I'm at. Check-ins at 3. They got me in at 10 a.m. So I can't. They're
Shout
just
out to them.
unbelievable. Yes, huge shout out to them, and got me in here, and I got a few hours of sleep. So I got maybe a couple hours sleep on the plane. I know I just kept nodding. I kept going like this and kept waking myself up.
Kept smacking your head into the
Yeah.
planes.
It was worth it to see that game last night. It was
Well, let's
amazing.
talk about that game. It ended up in a 2-2 draw. That's not a bad result for Manchester United.
Yeah, look, I mean, I thought we were the better team. I know people will argue maybe with that. I think there's a pretty decent argument to have either way. I thought we created the better chances. We're missing, maybe our best defender, best,
Mhm.
player all year, Licha Martinez, no Sabitzer. They're still short in some positions. And they really kind of shut down Barcelona's midfield. So I thought they played well, and I think obviously on what's a huge day, in the history of the club, Manchester United, obviously today with the bids coming in,
Mhm.
the Qatari royal family, maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe Jim Radcliffe, and everything sounds like it's Qatar and the actual Emir of Qatar. So everything surrounding that, I thought it was a fantastic game. I got back to my hotel and watched this one of the second games. I watched Sevilla play PSV. That was
That's a good
great. I
game.
mean, yeah, look, there were some pretty interesting results in both competitions yesterday. I saw Fiorentina beat Braga in Portugal 4-0. So I think both the Europa League and the Europa Conference League is really important for some of these smaller teams,
Uh-huh.
fighting in from around Europe, and there's a chance to win a cup. But yeah, it's a great day. So, it's always a good day, and you'll get some other this weekend you'll get some more games that are pretty big.
Let's talk about
Turn that
so
down.
what's
Turn that
next for
down.
Manchester United? Who do they play next?
Yeah, they got they play Leicester on Sunday. Once again a massive.
Mhm.
Right now, I mean, at this point, there's. It's funny because people are complaining. I mean, it's not the people that actually go to matches that do this, but it's the people on Twitter, which is you always have to take with a grain of salt. But you know, the matches are coming like it's you're playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. Cup final next Sunday. You got Barcelona. People are we're gonna be. Newcastle has 7 days to prepare for that game. Newcastle plays Liverpool on extra 8 days on Saturday. Tomorrow in that big game. That's a huge game tomorrow. Maybe a game that could change the rest of the season for Liverpool. But this is if you're a big team, this is what you're supposed to be doing. It's it's in the Europa League, so it's not as prestigious, but you know they're the only team that are still alive in all 4 of the cups. So or all in any 4 cups. So, they have to, you need to rotate the squad. The squad's not as deep as it needs to be. I think it'll be, you got to get through this month, and then you got the international break, and then you got April. So I think, after this month, you're going to get some players back. It's really this 2 weeks because you got, Leicester, then Barcelona. If you beat Barcelona, you're through, and then you're in, you're playing Thursday, Sunday, and then at that point, unless they're not going to, I don't think they can draw Arsenal in the 16. So, you're going to probably win the next tie. It's them. It's the winner of Barcelona. Manchester is probably the favorite to win the competition at this point. I know Arsenal fans will maybe say them, and that's valid as well. But so then you got the Barcelona, the Cup final. Then midweek, you got on March 1st, you have West Ham, which is FA Cup. Them and Manchester City are really the only 2 teams left that have the 2 big favorites. So, you're just playing a lot of good games, and then then in the league you have coming up, that game will be postponed next week against Brentford because they're in the cup. So then after that, they play Liverpool, massive game. Southampton, so the same thing. It never ends. Brighton away, massive game, and then you got the international break. Coming out of the break, you play Newcastle. So it's just huge 6 weeks, and I think, looking at some of these teams, I think they're in pretty good shape. Hello? So yeah, it's weird. I was waiting for Jim to talk there, so and I didn't hear him, so I could hear him. I could see his mouth moving. But look, once again, it's a pretty big weekend. I haven't been following the stuff as much. I was going to say,
we had an internet problem there.
Yeah, I saw you were talking, but I couldn't hear you. Other than I haven't really been too much following, some of the other stuff that's been going on. There's some pretty. I'll if I can stay up. I mean, I'll tonight is Cardiff and Reading. I always like watching those Friday night matches in town. So, but a huge weekend tomorrow, and
will you be? You won't be going to a game tomorrow, but you go on Sunday.
You know what? I talked. My friend Jordan is here. He's coming into town. He doesn't really come in too much, so I have a chance to go to Everton Leeds at 3:00 tomorrow. I mean, just to go, but not to care about either team. But it's only about a 25-minute train ride. And it's always interesting. I think that's a huge relegation battle, but I might just stay in town. If he comes in early, maybe we might just go watch the first game in the town, because over here you can't watch any of the 10 a.m. kickoffs. It's all blacked out. So you can watch, like I could come back to my hotel and watch it on my computer, but at that point I don't even know. Let's see.
It may not be worth it.
It's Brighton, Fulham. I mean, there's some good games, but they're all blacked out. So
I was impressed with the street tour that we got from you on the other day when we were taking a look at Barcelona.
It's just such a good city. It's so nice. I'm it's interesting because I love Manchester to death, but
Mhm.
I get off the plane and it's it's raining. I'm like, I haven't seen a cloud in 3 days, but it's okay right now.
Uh,
It's not bad. It's a little windy, but I got to. It's gonna be cold. I have some stuff I have to do today. I shipped all my clothes up last week.
mhm,
When I dropped off my bag for my guy here, Rich, who
mhm.
owns bags of flavor and stuff. So, and I got to go see some people, get that, and then do some things. But it's a little windy. But yeah, it's this city is the hotel I'm staying in wasn't even here. Um, the before COVID, it didn't
Mhm.
exist. So the city is just
Exploding.
yeah, the rings around it. I mean, it's crazy. Like it's just they're building a block a year. I mean, the
Wow.
where we're at, it's just like it's going out in a ring
Mhm.
wider and wider every year. The whole like a block will go up. It's just absolutely amazing to see.
That's great. What was I going to ask you? Fun story this morning is that after playing only two tournaments and not shooting around under 60, I'm sorry, under 70, in 800 days, Tiger Woods posted 69 yesterday at
Yeah,
Riviera.
that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thunk it, right? Uh,
Yeah. It's absolutely it's pretty amazing to
he's got
see.
a legit chance to make it to five, 7 under's the number is his score right now. So he's only 5 strokes off, and it looks like he might just make the weekend.
Yeah, obviously for him, he's just
Mhm.
obviously just trying to play his way
Mhm.
into some kind of shape. So you're going into it's people are like, well, why is that important in February 17th? Well, you can't just show up at the Masters, and I know he did it a couple years ago, but you can't just show up at the Masters
Right.
and walk up and say, oh, hey, I'm
We've
going
got we have
to
a guest. Hang on one second. Hey,
Hello,
Ruth, how are
good
you?
morning. I'm doing great. Top of the morning to you,
Good
gentlemen.
hi,
morning.
how are you?
I'm
Let
doing
me introduce you to Sean Miller.
hello,
Sean,
Sean.
Ruth,
Hi.
Sean is joining us from Manchester. He was in Barcelona yesterday covering the Manchester United Barcelona game. And so now he left the beautiful sun in the Mediterranean for the soupy rain of Manchester.
Yeah, it's a little nicer now, but it's
So
not best.
I was a big Wayne Rooney fan when he was with Manchester, and I actually named one of my dogs Rooney. And it was
Wow.
pretty awesome when he came to play for was it DC United?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and when I was covering the Orlando City Lions for Sports Talk Florida, I had an opportunity to meet Mr. Wayne Rooney, and I showed him the tattoo I had of my dog that had the name underneath, and he was like, "Wow, it's amazing you have my name tattooed on you." So, really spectacular moment to meet one of the greats. He will always be one of my favorite overseas players.
Yeah, he's my favorite player of all time. He's
Yeah,
the best.
Well,
straightforward. Mm-hmm.
Ruthie is with us today because she is an NBA expert.
All right.
I'm always amazed by Ruth's knowledge of the NBA, and I got to say that I'm very proud of her. She's now got a new show coming up on 102.5 The Bone. An
Oh wow.
alumnus of my old station down there. It's 100,000 watts. You can hear the damn thing in New Orleans. But it's great. Tell us a little bit before we get into the NBA. It's a shameless plug time, Ruth, for you. All right. Tell people you can listen to the show. I know for a fact that 102 The Bone is on the iHeartRadio app. So if you're
Yes.
anywhere in the world, we've got people, Ruth, who are watching us from all over the world. Tell them where you can be found, and then we'll start talking a little NBA.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, you could download the app 102.5 The Bone if you are not in the radio range. You could also travel to their website and their social medias. They will have links and URLs on there as well. But yeah, this Sunday I'll be debuting The Moment of Truth. which is a sports talk show that I had on WTMP. So just moving to a bigger station, same concept, a lot of sports talk. You guys could call into the show as well and be a part of the program. But I'm really excited to have this debut at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the St. Pete area at the studio. So very excited for that.
There you go. And if you ever need a soccer expert, Sean's your man.
All right, awesome. I'll definitely be keeping the contact.
He only knows soccer of every league I've ever heard of, and some I never have. So
Amazing.
So anyway, going from that, which is cool, to it's an NBA All-Star weekend. Are you pumped for it? Is there anything you're looking forward to? What's going on with you in the NBA this weekend? The All-Star.
So the All-Star games, I feel like haven't been that exciting, especially the skills challenge events. I love watching the 3-point contest, and the dunk contest used to be something I always tuned into, but it's kind of taken a backseat in the last few years. But I'm excited that the NBA is at this point of their season, because things really just start to rev up when they come back from All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm most excited for, to see the kind of the transition into this part of the season and how these teams are going to be making a stride for the playoffs. So that's what I'm most excited for.
Sean, you got some questions there? Want to talk about your Sixers?
Yeah, I mean, not really the Sixers though, because we all know if they get to the finals, they're going to lose, because you can't spell Philadelphia once again without an L, but multiple L's, that is.
Hey, the Super Bowl, you guys were really close, really close.
Oh,
really exciting.
The craziest thing is they're the first team ever to lose 3 straight major finals. They lost the World Series, they lost the MLS Cup, and then they lost the Super Bowl. So it's kind of crazy how they're. And
is that city put together right now, or have they completely tore it down?
I don't. We'll see. I mean, I live right outside there, so I've been away for a little bit here, so we'll see.
I've heard it's a thing that people try to climb telephone poles.
Yeah, they grease the poles. Yeah, they grease the poles ahead of it. It's so crazy. I think before, maybe a couple months ago, I thought the Bucks were the best team. I still do. And now all of a sudden they've won 12 in a row. I mean, they're red hot, and they're still not even really healthy. I still think, personally, I think that it's going to be Bucks Sixers Eastern Conference Finals. I'm on ESPN in New York on 98.7 on Friday and Saturday nights. We talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, how I just thought the Bucks were going to get hot and catch the Celtics. It looks like they've already done that. But what do you think about the Bucks in the East here? Obviously, I think last year only some injuries kind of derailed that title charge. That's a back-to-back title charge.
And that might be an issue for them this time around too. I mean, Giannis went out in the second quarter last night with a wrist injury. Not really sure what's going on with him. I know that he was supposed to be getting an MRI and some x-rays done early this morning to see this is the how serious his wrist injury is. But I think as long as they could pull together and play the way that they played last night against the Chicago Bulls, with Carter really stepping up, Brook Lopez had an outstanding game. I believe he ended the game with 38 points with a season high. Drew Holiday also played spectacular, kind of holding it down late in that fourth quarter to not let the Chicago Bulls kind of sneak back late in the fourth. As long as they could keep that mentality that it's next man up, and it doesn't matter if you get hit with the injury bug, that's just the name of the game. It's how it's played. The next man up mentality is really gonna see them through in this playoff series.
I always think for them, I mean, it's not really. I mean, they're one of these teams. You see every once in a while. First, second. Obviously, home court is big, but first, second, third. I think the bigger thing for them is if they're healthy in April or May.
Yeah.
To be honest, maybe not even that first round series. You start to look at some of these teams in the playoff race there, 5, 6, like Brooklyn's still there. Obviously they're a shell that the Knicks aren't going to beat them. I know Miami's in that little race down there. Atlanta, there could be issues, but that second, when you start getting into, May and you have to play, mid-May, and you have to play the Sixers or the Celtics. I mean, that's, the Cavs, somebody like that. But, I think they'll be all right there. They are very good at home. The other thing, I think the Sixers, obviously, Embiid, Harden, they're just, I don't know if cursed is the right word. Obviously, now with everything that's going on with the teams in the finals, but I mean, what do you think about the Sixers? Like, I know they're really streaky. They're back winning 4 in a row now, and they're kind of hot. That whole East, the top of the East, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Cavs, and the Sixers are all pretty streaky, and they're all pretty hot right now.
Yeah, the 76ers definitely have the game power. I think Joel Embiid and James Harden have been showing a lot of greatness, and I have them making it pretty far in the playoffs. I just don't know if I would really bank on them making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, because I'm not sure of Doc Rivers. I've been a huge fan of his for a long time, but it seems like he just doesn't really know how to put it together in big games like that. So I think that's going to be a part of their Achilles heel going into the playoffs.
One of the things that Phoenix didn't need help and ended up with KD. That's good. That West race is going to be a lot of fun the last few months. And I know your boy, who is a great player, of course, out in Golden State, that little guard out there, is when he starts heating up, you just sit back and watch when
Booker.
No, I'm talking about
Jordan Poole.
No, for the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, Warriors. Oh yeah. Oh, Steph Curry. Yeah, he's not bad.
He's not bad. No, he's pretty decent.
He's pretty decent.
Yeah, he can make some shots. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, last night's game against what was it, the Clippers? They were playing in Phoenix without Kevin Durant. I'm pretty excited to see this Kevin Durant and how it's going to really mix things up in Phoenix. I think they're really striving to win today, because they know that Chris Paul is going to be 38 by the end of this season. So their window of opportunity is closing on them. So I think Kevin Durant was a really, really great pickup, and I'm really curious to see how he meshes well with Booker, with CP3, and just see how that all mixes up for them.
I think the other thing too is, I mean, conversely, when you look at the East, I mean, Memphis 4-6 of the last 10, Sacramento, I don't think anybody's scared of Sacramento, 5-5. Clippers 6-4, obviously talent's there. When they get healthy in the playoffs, Suns all of a sudden now 7-3 and 32 wins, but they're only 3 wins out of second in the West. And once again, I still don't think people fear Denver, at the top. I wouldn't be, Denver. Remember last year it was.
I think Jamal Murray is starting to come into the bubble Murray that we saw in 2020.
Yeah.
So I think the Nuggets are the team to beat in the West for sure.
Yeah, I think obviously they're with a six game lead. I think they're probably going to have home court. Obviously, Jokic is going to probably win his 3rd straight MVP. So yeah, I think it's you see the rest of the bracket, if Phoenix could get up to 2 or 3, Sacramento, Memphis, Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is a little, who knows with Kyrie and they're a little banged up. New Orleans. I think it's really wide open. Maybe on the one side of the bracket. So, I think Phoenix kind of saw that and said, look, I mean, you're just in the finals 2 years ago. We could probably get back there if we get on a little run here. I think it's, Dallas, once again, Dallas last year, they got to the Western Conference Finals and, as a 3 or 4 seed there. So it's pretty wide open.
It's fun. Denver, what we look at from Denver whenever they get in the playoffs is people again forget the altitude. So you go up there and you get ready to play, and by the 3rd quarter you're sucking air, and these guys are looking around going, "Hey, what's your problem?" So they definitely have that. A home court advantage is one thing. A home court advantage when it's a mile-high city without as much oxygen is even more of a plus.
I wish you would work more for my Broncos.
Well, we can't help you there,
Sean
but
Payton now. I'm excited to see what Russell Wilson is. I know Jim and I were speaking about it on social media about the pickup of Sean Payton and how that might make a difference, might not, might mesh well with Mr. Russell Wilson.
Well, it can't be worse than last year. That other guy was terrible. I mean, he just look. I mean, I think Sean Payton's smart enough to know that you have to kind of plate your $250 million quarterbacks strengths a little bit. You know, it might. You know, if he doesn't work this year, maybe they go in a different direction. But next year, you know, you don't have a draft pick to get anybody good here, so you trade it away. You got to try to work with them, and he, you know, I think they'll be better. Their defense is unbelievable. So,
well, I think Sean is he understands how to work with players, and if there's anybody who can bring out, you know, Russ's ability, it's Sean. He'll figure out something. But you know, it's a surrounding cast too. We'll have to see what they can do on offense with that surrounding cast. Ruth, you cover the Buccaneers. We know Brady's not coming back. What's happening on the quarterback side down there? Are they gonna go with Kyle Trask? They're gonna go out and find somebody? What's going on?
I honestly, I don't think that Kyle Trask is the answer. I think he's still too young. He's still developing. I don't know if he's ready to be a starter in the league, even though having 2 years behind Brady. I think the Bucs want to go out and get a veteran quarterback, somebody like a Jacoby Brissett, maybe somebody like Derek Carr, which might be a possibility depending on the cap hit. There's a lot of choices out there when it comes to the QB position. We also have Jimmy Garoppolo that's probably not returning to the 49ers with how well Brock Purdy played. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo would be a great fit here in Tampa. But the only thing with Jimmy is he's so accident prone, he's so injury prone that we don't know if he's going to withstand a whole regular season. We might have him start the season and then have Kyle Trask come in halfway through. But they did make a great hire for offensive coordinator with Danny Canales, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was the quarterback coach in Seattle, overseeing Geno Smith, who had a pretty outstanding year that nobody thought the Seahawks were going to have offensively. So I like the hire. I wish they would have gotten somebody like Eric Bieniemy, but hey, he just won a Super Bowl with Kansas City, so he might not be on the move, leaving Arrowhead. So, but things are going to be a lot different in that Bucs locker room without Tom being there. He was such a great leader. They had so much respect for him in that room, and they literally would do anything they could to help Tom win and kind of end his career on a great note. But pretty upsetting season, obviously under 500. They still squeaked through to the playoffs, but got spanked by the Dallas Cowboys here at the Raymond James. And I had a feeling when I was watching that game at Ray J that this was going to be the last game for Tom, because it was hard to see him throughout the season kind of just take that decline, especially being in the MVP conversation the season before and just winning a Super Bowl in 2020. So you definitely saw the decline. I think Father Time was starting to finally catch up.
Well, there's that. There also was such, I mean, think about this, okay? Let's just say for a moment, you're not every week on a national stage, on national television playing football. He went through a divorce.
Yeah.
He had the problem with the cryptocurrency. All these off-field issues that normally would drive anybody crazy. And then you have to walk, every Sunday you got to go out and play, in the National Football League. And everybody's expectation of what you're going to do is you're not going to lose because you're Tom Brady. Tom Brady is human. And I think what we found out this year was he was human. And the outside forces, I personally think the outside forces had to affect his on-field play. There's no way that you can compartmentalize being involved in a divorce, being involved in, in one of your major businesses going sideways. And all of a sudden, you get to Raymond James Stadium, put on the jersey, and suddenly all that melts away. I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't work out that way. A lot of personal things, I think, were getting in the way. And you could kind of see it. He took 11 days off during training camp in the beginning. And I still don't know what happened during that time period. There's been a lot of, people saying that, he went to go be on The Masked Singer, and, he was in the Bahamas on vacation with his family. Who really knows? But I could just see it in his eyes that it wasn't the same Tom. It wasn't the same football loving, coming in every Sunday, giving it your all Tom. I think he's finally going to start prioritizing his family over football, and I'm happy for him. It's been a great 23 years of watching him play in the NFL. I've been watching Tom Brady since basically I was old enough to understand what football was. So it's a huge change for me to not see Brady in a uniform, but I'm excited to see what he's going to do as a broadcaster for Fox. I'm glad that he's still going to be a part of the whole sports world. I couldn't really see him or imagine him really taking a step away. And it's awesome to see him be more open on his social medias. He had just adopted a cat. I don't know if you guys saw that on his story.
I saw that, yeah.
The white kitten from the Humane Society. So I think we're going to be seeing a whole new version of Tom Brady. But back to the quarterback issue in Tampa, I think it spoke volumes with them firing offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. If they really believed in Kyle Trask as the new starting quarterback for the Bucs, why would they be throwing him into a completely new system when he's already been acclimated to Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians' system since he's been there as a rookie? So I think that also speaks volume that they're probably going to start fresh and look for some veteran experience out there. It would be awesome to get somebody like Lamar Jackson as well, who doesn't really seem too happy in Baltimore. There's been a lot of contract talks with him and maybe getting franchise tagged. Who knows? He might end up in Tampa.
You never know. But to get Lamar, there's going to be a lot of Sean and I were just talking because, of course, the Glazers own Manchester United.
Yeah.
And the bids are going in today. So whether or not they can afford to buy, I don't think there's going to be a problem if the cash were what they were looking for Lamar. I don't know whether I think Baltimore's going to franchise him. I don't think they're going to let him out of the deal. I think that's something they're going to do and try to work through it. Steve Bisciotti's one of those owners who you never see, never hear from, but definitely understands what's going on. And I don't think he wants to let Lamar get out of town unless and until they have had a final offer up that they're going to put up there. Yeah. So we'll have to see. But those are also cap issues for both teams. You're not going to throw $200+ million into a quarterback that's going to crush it down to the point where you only have room for 45 players. You don't have room for the entire roster. So
yeah, I think Deshaun Watson's contract with the Cleveland Browns, as well as Russell Wilson, the guaranteed money he got for the Denver Broncos, they have definitely reset the market, which puts all 32 teams on their heels. So I think it's going to be telling. We're going to have to really keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we want to make sure that the Cleveland general manager isn't taken out by the league after they did that. It's like, what the hell were you thinking? Anyway, let's see. Let's go back to Sean. You've got some. You can help Ruth here with a little bit of what's going on in some soccer to watch over the weekend.
Yeah, so obviously the Premier League. There's the big game tomorrow is the last one, Newcastle and Liverpool. Massive game. I think. I'm still right now my final four. I think City wins the league now. I think that game the other day, I think Arsenal's in the tank. It took them 3 games to blow an 8-point lead, so I think they're in trouble. I think Manchester United finishes second. I think they're rolling. But Newcastle right now is still 9 points clear of Liverpool, and Liverpool looked really good the other day. Liverpool's obviously has a massive game with Real Madrid on Tuesday in Liverpool, so in the Champions League round of 16. But Newcastle has played 22 games. Now they only have 1 loss in 22 games, which is very impressive. But they've only won 10 of 22. They have 11 draws. So, at some point they can't keep drawing these games. They have to start winning these games. If they win this, I think, probably Newcastle, going back to 12 clear of Liverpool probably kind of ends that Liverpool top 4 charge. If Liverpool can maybe win that game, all of a sudden, if I was Newcastle, I'd start to feel a little bit shaky there. So a massive, massive game there. Obviously, there's a huge game at the other end of the table. Everton's playing Leeds United. That's the one. Maybe I go, maybe I don't go. But be able to. I know I'll be able to get a ticket at least for that because they both stink. So.
So you said stands for that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I know Ruth has to probably get out of here. So Ruth, I appreciate you coming on, and definitely thanks for everything. And whenever you don't want to come on, please just feel
Let
free.
us know.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry, I got a lot to do today.
No problem.
I appreciate you guys letting me come on here and let everybody know about the new upcoming show on Cox Media Group for 102.5 The Bone. Please check me out at 11 a.m. on Sunday. It will start consistently every Sunday from 11 to 12. So thank you so much for the platform. I'll see you guys later.
Hey, real quick, Ruth, don't forget social media. Where can they follow?
Oh, absolutely. I should have put that on there. Find me on Instagram. I'm pretty active on there. I'll be doing a live stream from the Instagram channel on Sunday from 11 to 12. It's Ruth_the_truth with the number 1 at the end. If you are active on Twitter, I can be a little bit more active on there as well. It's Ruth the Truth with 3 H's at the end. I will give you a follow back. Thank you so much.
All right, gang. Take care. Ruth, drive safely. Thanks for joining us and talking NBA with us.
Take care.
Take care, you too. Okay. Ruth on her way out the door. So Ruth the Truth is gone, but she did give us some interesting information on the NBA.
Yep. And just to quickly continue this, Chelsea Southampton, I think is a pretty interesting game. Chelsea's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
There's some big games now in the championship. We're now to the point where Osasuna, Real Madrid, Barcelona's got an 8-point lead over Real Madrid here. So Barcelona's got Real Madrid here, no margin for error. They've just won the Club World Cup, so I mean they're the best team in the world. So whatever. I think at some point here, very quickly, their focus starts to turn towards other competitions. I don't think Barcelona is going to drop an 8-point lead at this point. Although, once again, if Barcelona happens to get by Manchester United and they're playing that Thursday, Sunday schedule, it could be interesting. So there's that. And then, Sunday, obviously, I'll be at the Manchester United Leicester City game. Tottenham plays West Spur, another London derby. A big game for Tottenham, after their embarrassing performance on Tuesday night against Amedeus' team. Amedeus wasn't very high on his team, and I just was. I just thought that Tottenham I don't think they're very good. It's good, good for his team and stuff. They could have 3 teams there from Italy in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which would be huge, obviously, for that league. PSG plays Lille. They're hugely disappointing the other night. They're 5 points clear in the league of Marseille. Marseille's kind of a little momentum has faltered there. Monaco with a big win there over PSG the other day. So there's a lot of big games this weekend.
And a lot of fun stuff to watch.
That's right.
That the other thing, like we just said a little earlier, from the standpoint of if you get a little bored, the Genesis Invitational is going to have some. You got Rory McIlroy in the mix. You got a lot of really talented golfers out there in Los Angeles for that tournament, and that course is a wonderful course. It's a bear of a course, but it's a good course. And weather-wise, it's going to be in 70s, so it's not going to be uncomfortable. So I would think we're in pretty decent shape there going on this weekend to find out what's going on. Plus, if you're a race car fan, it's the Daytona 500, and that's coming up on Sunday. And we'll see how that plays out because every year Daytona seems to be a really crazy day where a lot of people get smacked down and problems. reign supreme. So we'll see how that works out on Sunday. So a little bit of everything. We got basketball, we got soccer, we've got NASCAR racing all this weekend. So plenty of stuff to be had. And you just told us that you'll be watching Manchester United on Sunday, which will be a good game. And where from Manchester United Sunday's game will you be going? You got next week left to go, right?
Yeah, it's you got the Thursday. It's the Champions League next week. I mean, I'll be honest, I'd love to go see Real Madrid and Liverpool Tuesday and sit in the Madrid end. Obviously, it's going to be impossible to do, but that would be great. Once it's not that far of a ride over there to Liverpool from here, but there's some good places here to kind of go and hang out and watch the games. So if I don't get a ticket, it's fine. I just like the fact that when you're watching the Champions League, it's 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night in Spain. You can kind of.
That's about the time everybody starts getting up.
It's not 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, there's some advantages and disadvantages to, the living in America and watching these games at, certain different times. And,
right.
Sometimes that's a pretty tough time of the day to watch stuff. But, 8 o'clock at night over here, it's not that bad. So
what's the with them blacking out the early games?
Oh, at 3 p.m. kickoffs. Yeah, they because all the lower leagues play at that time, so they want people to actually go to the matches. So instead of like televising, it's kind of antiquated, to be honest. Because if I'm going to go to like a League Two Millwall, like if I'm going to go see Tranmere Rovers, I'm going to go see Tranmere Rovers. I'm not going to sit home and watch Everton and Leeds.
Right.
So, I just think. It's really outdated at this point. I mean, every other league in the world doesn't do that now. And just, people are going to sit home and watch IPTV and these, they're going to use streams and stuff. So if you really want to watch your game, you'll find a way to do it. So, and it doesn't, it doesn't, if you're a Leeds fan and you can't get a ticket to Everton, because it's hard, hey, now I can't watch the game. Well, that's not fair. I mean, that's not right. I mean, I don't think that's actually, very fair for people. So,
well, it basically is back in some regards a little bit to the old NFL thing, where if you then sell out, you black out the game, and then the owners realize, wait a minute, this is stupid, because you're killing your own people here.
It's not like. Look, I mean, I think, here, there's a lot of people here. I mean, they're in a cost of living crazy. I mean, I can't afford to go pay £60 on a weekend and go to a game. Like some people, that's what people say. And like, and now you're charging them all this money for TV licenses, and then you don't show the games. Like, and then they say, well, they don't understand why people pay, £60 a year and get IPTV and get, you can watch every game. And like, hey, look, that's, £5 a month. Well, that's way less than £50 a month for cable and all this other stuff. So, that
IPTV too, you get games from all over the world. You get everything from all over the world.
Yeah. And it's just, it's really antiquated thinking. I think they have to just kind of change the way they're doing it. But,
Change. So yeah,
yep.
They should be getting Paramount Plus so they can watch it there. So you got that one. So anyway, all right. Look, I don't. I'll tell you what. Any final thoughts? We'll let you get some rest there now that you're.
Yeah, you're gonna get some
lunch probably.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see a couple of my people there and pick up my clothes and stuff. So, it's.
No. Gonna go to the place that has the great Philly cheesesteaks there in.
We're gonna try to walk over there and maybe get some. I gotta go see. Get some crispy duck later and stuff. Maybe today or tomorrow or.
Kind of hang out.
Yep.
Good. All right. Well, look. Have a safe and a wonderful weekend to everybody out there. Thanks, of course, to Ruth for her joining us today, dropping some NBA knowledge on us. And Sean and I will see you Monday along with our buddy Amedeus at 9 a.m. So until then, folks, take care, and we'll see you very soon.